Okay, this is a bit of an odd one here. Hold on. Bit of an odd one. Where this was years ago when I had this dream where I was inside of a regular looking house, kind of that's like ours here, any old uh, bungalow or something like that, with a sliding door out to the back. And there was this tall man that had extremely large eyes, dark skin, and frizzy hair. And back then, when this was back when I was a teenager, where I believe these beings were trying to trick me into believing a guilt trip. They said, "Oh, if you don't change very quickly, you don't evolve very quickly, uh, you'll be out of our house." Meaning, we won't watch over you. Yeah, beings won't. Benevolent beings won't do that. That's a form of trickery that's going around even prevalently right now. Oh, we'll leave you if you earn money, or we'll leave you if you act this way, or talk this way, or anything like that. No, that's incredibly judgmental. Either that's a really, really judgmental ET that's not getting their way, or can't control you if you do earn money or act a certain way, or are sovereign instead of bowing to them, or they're again just evil, and it's just a massive scam. Either way. So this is something that's very very prevalent right now. Even from back then, this was in the 90s. Again, big invasion time that took place back then. So just word of warning: anything is guilting you like that, it is not. It might be for your highest good to learn about it and encounter it, but it's not for your highest vibrations and continuing highest good, let's just say. Even though highest good could be wrote a glass shard instead of rose petals, continuing learning to be around beings like that. Even if they tell you to do something, it doesn't mean you got to go do it. Any being, you can refuse at any time, and you can refuse to do anything they ask at any time, and they shouldn't be butthurt about it. Any being would probably be butthurt if they didn't get their way, of course, but they don't have to act like children. Just like beings will tell me to do stuff all the time, be like, that's nice. It's not practical, like they tell me to eat right all the time. That's nice. Get us a ticket to Japan and we'll eat right all we want while we're there. There's no poisons in the food over there. It's everywhere. It's if they give you non-practical advice, if it's or it's not feasible in some way. I mean, it's a good thing to eat right, and good beings have been suggesting that. But the poisons are in everything here in the United States, and Canada, England, and Australia are some of the worst. So, yeah, if they're doing that, also they may be very, very benevolent in saying this, but it's just not practical in an area that you're in. Bugs are starting to wake up here, and so a lot of flies this morning, but this afternoon. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because it's been very, very prevalent. Very, very kind beings have been suggesting it, but there's just certain non-practicalities of certain things. But then the bad beings will guilt you into it. There's the difference. Okay, it is 12:41 p.m. Thursday, March 31st, 2022. Thank you. I also want to add to this, just because beings are telepathic doesn't mean they're automatically kind either. Some new age types seem to have that in their head that, oh, they're telepathic, they're beautiful, or they're ascended, or they're angelic, and that's not true at all. I've run into really nasty ones that are telepathic, like the Draco and some of the Greys and the like. And also, now it's being wiped from my head the moment I step out here to do this. But there has been, oh come on now, misconception out there that, man, they're really fighting this one. Misconception out there that, oh come on, man, mind wipe. See, this shows that this is prevalent information. When you get that mind wipe, it's prevalent information. I'll stand here a moment and see if I can conjure this back up. because this was incredibly important. Granted, you don't have to honor all downloads, but yes, here we are. Not all beings that you encounter telepathically are going to have the pinnacle of spiritual knowledge either. That is an incredible misconception in the New Age community. I've run into, Moses and I have run into engineers, to space captains, to all of this. They don't have the pinnacle of spiritual knowledge. They just happen to be telepathic. That's a natural ability amongst a lot of species, including us. Doesn't mean that it's holy. It just means that it's an ability that's waking up. That has been concealed, or people have been taught that it's evil, or that it's non-existent in some way. That regular, normal existence, as people have known it here, normal, is the only thing, and that is the only sane thing. That's the only grounded thing, and that's not true at all. You get new information, you be grounded in the new information, and still remain sane and stable. So that's a misconception. I run into a Lyran who's just an engineer. He's not the pinnacle of spirituality. He's a guy, like the Lanana Inasanak. He wasn't up on spiritual knowledge. He was up on trading, so it's just like anywhere else. So it doesn't mean that the beings aren't like us out there, that don't have those types of concerns, or types of trades, or types of information, like trading and engineering, or even some spiritual information. They could do whatever. So it's a major misconception by New Age crowds and religious and spiritual crowds that all of them are spiritual or high ascended angelic type beings. No, that is not even close. Some might mimic it like the bad guys do, or some may be playing around and mimic it, but no. That's something that has been a major misconception as well, but evidently somebody didn't want it out. So there it is. It is 12:47 p.m. Thursday, March 31st, 2022. Thank you. Last night I had forgotten to cover the television, and I've been doing this periodically. And I do notice the correlation between Dreamtime invasions and forgetting to cover the television. And this was an odd dream where I was in a different apartment with Joanna. It's like they're trying to drive us into like a creepy neighborhood, bad neighborhood, something we would never live in. And well, it's not just a standards thing, it's an energetic standards thing. I just would never do it. And what I would do, or what we were doing was sleeping, but normally I'm on what people would perceive from, if you were looking at the foot of the bed, I'm on the right, she's on the left. This time it was reversed. And I was sensing something messing with me. They're like pulling on my arm, and trying to jerk me forward. And I was also looking at a series of images on my phone at the same time. So I knew it was AI presence. And I've also noticed that in dreams also where there's certain technology, it's not just screens where I know sometimes maybe something's trying to help me in a dream, but also AI intrusion where technology will start to appear in the dream sequence on the edge of an environment if AI is attempting to invade. Just like I saw a dream where I saw friends of mine. And then I'd asked a question about what Interstellar Council was eventually going to look like, or who was going to be on Interstellar Council. And then I saw Joanna, myself, and then to the right of me was AI starting to intrude. I mentioned it on Interstellar Council, but I didn't mention that part. In this one, it was kind of similar, where the phone was like in my hand, or pad was in my hand. I was just seeing a series of images. Then, who was pulling on my arm? I had my arm outreached, by the bed, and somebody was doing that. And Joanna kept saying, figure out who it is, figure this one out, stuff like that. And then I turned and saw there was a light on in the hallway. The bedroom door was literally butted up against the bed. You literally had to slither in. That's how tight a quarters we were stuck in after a while. And it better not be that they're trying to worm us or guide us towards like that little poorer end of the spectrum like that, where we're stuck in something tiny. Because that's what the cabal wants to do. They want to weed people down. They want to get rid of the middle class altogether, and they want to weed people down into really poor or really rich. And that's not going to happen. People aren't going to allow that, or at least some people aren't. That's why the housing prices are so high. But anyway, I've said this before as well. But anyway, I heard there was a light on in the hallway, and the door was cracked. About this, it was an older house, and with lesser living conditions. Just some crappy slumlord place you'd find yourself in. And this, I heard the cocking of a shotgun. I heard that. And then I turned around and I saw this man in an older top coat, blonde hair and blue eyes, dress wear for like the 1800s. And it looked like, kind of reminded me of Doctor Who, the earlier Doctor Who's. And he was looking at me. I kept trying to figure out who he was. But anytime I tried to do anything, anything I would do to him would slow down, like the time would slow down. And he'd look at me, and then he'd look away, look at me, look away. And basically the cocking of the shotgun is always perceived as a threat. It is like it means like you're threatening someone. That's what the sound is associated with. And I believe what I was seeing was the threatener, and he was like standing over me in a position of power, like if you would edit a movie. I learned this in editing school, whereas somebody if they film somebody that's up at an angle like that, they're trying to put them in a position of power. Like when Leni Riefenstahl filmed Hitler, they showed this where she literally made him look like a god in filming. And when he was giving one of his speeches, where she kind of panned like this around and made him look like he was lording over the whole crowd. This is the same position that this being was in. He was standing in a position of power, like he was proud of it, like he was this being was directing us towards a poorer ends and means, constantly creating like that Sisyphean rock up the hill scenario, or hamster wheel scenario. I'd beaten part of the hamster wheel when we got rid of some of these barriers in this area. And what happened after that is some things lurched forward, but then it was 2 steps back with the Vimeo disappearing. But again, as I said on Interstellar Council, it's a blessing in disguise, because now we can move forward past it and find an even more sovereign means. And this is becoming an interesting turn of events, but I still have not found this being that was there. I don't know who it was, I just know it was a bad guy. And creating that series of events in the dreams, but I have noticed that correlation between not covering the TV screen, forgetting to do it, and things like that happening. So it's been fairly obvious. So I think I will end this here. I do have a show to do this morning. It is 7:10 a.m. Saturday, April 16th, 2022. Thank you. One thing I did forget to add was Joanna in the dream sequence. When I was listening, I heard the shotgun cock. Heard her saying, "Oh, just go back to sleep. Go back to sleep." And I believe the entirety of the situation was the very being that I was seeing. Where when he kept looking away, looking at me, is when he was trying to divert my eyes. Like he was looking, meaning that he was trying to get me to look at him, look away, look at him, look away, be distracted by him being around. So I didn't take care of it. And Also, the fact that he also couldn't look directly at me. I couldn't look directly at him. Make eye contact, and making eye contact was important to get rid of beings like that. See, I'm already starting to slur. So, what I should have done was chopped his head off in the dream, and I'm just going to visualize doing it right now. Yeah, I believe that was a Syrian invader. Syrian Orion mix, I believe. So, a vampiric type being. So, yeah, that's where I can already feel the energy rising from it. So, that's good. That would have been a distraction during the show today. So, I do have to go. It is 7:21 a.m. Saturday, April 16th, 2022. Thank you.